Hello, my name is Sanaz Busink. I'm recording this video for any kind of lower back stiffness or tightness. And specifically this is for my gym buddy Ken. So Ken, this video is dedicated to you. I hope you enjoy it. So we'll start on hands and knees, just a few movements on our lower back area, and just to reassess the body and see how the body feels at this moment. So come onto hands and knees if you have a yoga mat, and if you don't have a yoga mat, a carpeted area or maybe a blanket. If you are on hands and knees and your knees are uncomfortable, you can lift the center of your yoga mat and fold it in half, and then place your kneecaps on the folded part of this mat here. Same thing with the wrists. If they're a bit uncomfortable here on the mat, you can roll the mat and then place your palms on the rolled part of your mat, and you might find a little bit more support. So cat-cows, as we exhale, we round the spine. As we inhale, we'll start arching the spine, especially the lumbar spine, the lower back area. And the movements don't have to be quite big. You can ever so slightly create little ripples in your spine, undulations in the spine. And then slowly, slowly, you might like to bring a little bit more movement. So when we wake up, usually the body is quite stiff and a bit tighter than the rest of the day. And you might notice that there is more pain or more tension or tightness around the fascia, the connective tissue, the muscles, even the protective layer, the fat that we have around the muscles, around the bone. So after a few cat-cows, you are noticing your breath. And so bring breath into this movement. As we exhale, we round the spine. And as we inhale, we welcome the breath all the way into the chest, rib cage, belly. Exhale, rounding the spine, looking down. Inhale, arching the lower back, and then gently looking forwards. The breath is the key here. If we do these movements without breathing, nothing really happens. It's just simply kind of moving without much healing. So the healing happens when we kind of sew breath to movement. And then we'll ever so mindfully come back to center, into a comfortable or neutral spine, and gently rock our hips from side to side. So we're just rocking the hips from side to side. And as you rock your hips from side to side, you might notice that, oh yeah, maybe you're tight on either side of your hips or either side of the lumbar spine area. And you'll find an opening happening, an elongation happening. So you might have the nail part of your toes on the floor, or you might have your toe pads on the floor. Notice which one feels better for you. Bend at the elbows a little bit, or one elbow at a time bends maybe. And bend as much as it feels comfortable to you. Still breathing, still breathing, still breathing. And at this point, if the body permits, we're going to go for chest or barrel rolls, rib cage rotations, making circles with the rib cage. And of course, I kind of accentuate this. I make bigger movements here, but you don't have to go as big as I am practicing. After you've been circling one direction, you might like to circle the other direction. And then we'll come back to center, still breathing, resetting ourselves, our breath, our body, our thoughts. And then this time we're just going to gently place a bit of weight onto our heels, kind of the hips move back, and we'll bring a bit of weight forwards. So moving back and forth, softening at our fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, noticing movement in our hip joints, knee joints, ankle joints, and toe joints. And at this point, if the body allows you to drop into child's pose. Once you drop into child's pose, you might notice that your knees might be quite close together. Maybe they are hip distance apart as you drop into child's pose. They might be a little bit wider. So you pick what feels most comfortable to you. Either knees are hip distance apart, really touching one another, or maybe the knees are quite wide into wild child. And once you arrive into your child's pose, see if you can soften at your palms, your forearms, your elbows, and then we'll invite breath into the chest, rib cage, belly. And as breath moves down our spine through our body, you might notice breath between your shoulder blades, in the lower ribs and the back body, and all the way into our lower back and hips. And of course, breath doesn't travel that far in the body, but energetically it does. So just this energetic breath moves down. And as we breathe in and out, we fill up the lower lungs all the way down into the lower rib cage. The lower lungs fill out. And you might notice the sense of elongation, opening, release just through your breath. So breath is the key. Breathing in and out, in and out, in and out. If your forehead touches something, that would be wonderful. So either the floor, either a stack of palms or a stack of fists. And if the fists just don't, your forehead doesn't reach the stack of fists, you can always make a thumbs up with your top fist and place your forehead on your top thumb or thumb pad. It's our last breath here. Nice big inhale. Big exhale. And then we can slowly, gently find our way back home into all fours. Once you arrive into all fours, any sort of organic movement, again, you're quite aware of your breathing. You're quite aware of your body and sensations through your body. Heat, coolness, numbness, tingling, pain. And if you reach pain, you've gone a little too far. So make sure not to ignore the body's little tips. Kind of body sending us messages. So you just want to go as far with your hips from side to side or forwards and back, or with your lower back rounding and arching. Just enough so you are in no pain, yeah? And then we can slowly, ever so gently come to lie down on our back. So take your time as you come off your mat and you come to lie down on your back. Once you arrive onto your back and bend your legs, soften your feet, so relax your toes. Just bring your awareness to the soles of your feet, your big toes. Notice how the toes touch the floor or the toe pads, and the floor meets your toes, kind of lifts up to meet your toes. Again, energetically, you can visualize this, how your toes, your big toes, second, third, fourth, fifth toes arrive onto the ground beneath you, as the ground reaches up to meet them. And then you'll soften the outer edges of your feet, the inner edges of your feet, the heels of your feet. And once you find that stability, the groundedness in your feet, we'll move up into the ankles, into our shin bones, into the calf muscles, into our knee joints. And at this point, you can soften your knees a little bit more, soften a little bit more. If there's holding or tightness in the knees, we'll soften. And then we'll slip down our thighs, all the way down our thighs into our hips, and we'll arrive into the hips. And just notice if you feel a difference between your right hip and your left hip. So we'll soften the hips here. Big exhales, and with each exhale you might notice that you're getting a little bit deeper, you're going a little bit deeper into your body. I call this meeting the self. So just arriving. And then we'll soften the pelvic floor, the perineum area, the area between our pubic bone and our tailbone, the area between the pubic bone and tailbone, from sit bone to sit bone, kind of the diamond shape around the groin area. We'll soften. All the muscles relax. Usually they're quite tight. We'll soften them, we'll relax all the muscles. And then we'll move beyond the surface of the skin of the body. We'll drop into the organs inside our belly. So stomach and spleen on the left side for most of us. Liver, gallbladder, pancreas on the right side for most of us. There's the bladder in front, the uterus or prostate behind, and then the rectum behind that. And these kind of three organs are kind of cuddling one another. We'll soften all the muscles around them. We'll soften our organs. We're just arriving. You might notice your large intestine, the ascending colon on the right side of the belly, moving all the way at the center of the belly, top kind of by the diaphragm area, and then descending colon on the left side of the belly, moving downwards. The muscles are moving downwards. We're just breathing in and out, and we'll get an idea of the kidneys and the back body. Again, most of us have 2 kidneys, but if you are missing a kidney or an organ, just imagine that energetically the body's intact. You have all your organs, you're just breathing in and out. So we're just going to go for a little bit of a massage. As you place your hands on your belly, we're going to go a little bit higher where you find your kind of lower ribs area. So there's an area of ribs, there's bone, and then there's an area of kind of muscles and softness. So find that area right there, the border between your rib cage and your muscles. Place your hands there or your fingertips there, and simply breathe into your belly and breathe out. And as you breathe in and out, your belly gets big and small. You're going to find your diaphragm. Breathing in, the diaphragm puffs open. Breathing out, the diaphragm goes back up and hides under the lower rib cage area. So we're going to go for a bit of a massage here with our fingertips. We're going to bring our both hands close to the center of our rib cage, where the triangular shape happens at the rib cage, and gently we're going to kind of palpate or place pressure or massage a little bit. By a little bit of pressure, you're kind of digging your fingers into your body a little bit, between your rib cage, the last floating ribs, and your belly, and then releasing. You're breathing in and out. And usually if these muscles here are quite tight, it's going to pull on the lower back muscles, and the lower back muscles are going to even tighten even more. So we're releasing the lower back muscles by massaging and releasing and relaxing. The front muscles here, the diaphragm. And just gently we'll walk the hands closer and closer to the outer edges of our rib cage here. And the last ribs, the floating ribs, all the way until you get to the sides of your belly, and then you'll move your fingers back to center. You might be quite tight, or you might notice that you can dig your fingers in and even hold on to your bottom ribs here, yeah? And more than anything, you're investigating if there's pain or this kind of organic, intuitive, bodily knowledge of this is not right, then please don't go as deep. This is about it. We'll slowly, 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 and the last touches here of this area. And then we can finally just massage the belly up and down if you wish. You can even make circles with your hand. We'll relax the arms beside us, palms facing up. Arms are beside us, palms are facing up as we gently rock our knees from side to side. And again, we're still breathing, And if you forget to breathe, sync your breath with movement. Each time the knees drop to one side, we usually exhale, empty the lungs. As we inhale, the knees come back up to center, and as we exhale, the knees drop to the other side. At first, the body is quite stiff, kind of paying attention to what's happening in our feet, and our ankles, and our knees, and our hip joints. And then slowly, slowly, you might notice that the spine softens, relaxes, and you might feel that your body starts moving with your hips. That means maybe your head starts rocking the opposite direction of your knees. As the knees drop to one side, the head will drop to the other side. It will go back and forth, back and forth. Rocking the knees from side to side, still breathing, still breathing. And if you've lost the connection between your breath and movement, you'll simply come back to breath and movement. Exhale, knees get close to the floor. Inhale, knees come back up to center. We'll slowly, slowly breathe in, bring the knees back to center, and we'll just stay here. Taking a pause. And then we're going to come into cat-cows on our back. So as we inhale, we'll see if we can arch the lower back off the floor. As we exhale, we're going to press the lower back into the floor, as if a little ant is crossing under our lower back area. So as we inhale, arching the lower back, making that little pretty bridge for the ant to cross. And as we exhale, once the ant has crossed, we can press the lower back into the floor beneath us. You might notice that your feet are stuck on the floor, but the bones inside your feet are moving a little bit. There's this rocking or undulation in the back of your spine, in the back of your neck. You might notice each time you inhale and arch your lower back, your chin might get close to your chest. And as you exhale and press your lower back into the floor, the chin might get close to the sky above. Again, reminding yourself to relax your arms, palms are facing up, fingers have curled in. We cannot use our arms at this moment just because they're completely relaxed and the spine is doing its own thing. We can slowly, slowly come back into a neutral spine, and by now the lower back muscles are quite tired. There was a lot of movement, a lot of work for them. We can relax the belly again, and we'll massage the lower back with our breathing. So it's a comfortable breath to breathe into our chest and rib cage. So simply breathing into our nostrils if that's possible, if not through our mouth. Noticing breath around the throat area, the breath around the chest and rib cage area. And if the body allows you, we're going to breathe into the armpits. So breathing into the armpits, sides of our rib cage area. We're opening up the lungs, breathing into the full capacity of the lungs. And then you might find your breath into your rib cage area, sides of the ribs, front of the ribs. You might find your diaphragm pop open and go back. And then you'll find your breath into your belly. So nice big belly as we breathe in, and then soft belly, relaxed belly. By this, we're just massaging the lower back here. We can soften our breath. We'll relax the body. We'll drop into a rhythm that feels comfortable. And then we'll slowly lift one foot off the floor, lift another foot off the floor. Knees will get close to the chest and rib cage. If your knees are quite close together, the feet are touching one another, you might notice that the legs will not get too close to the body. Yeah, we kind of place a bit of pressure here in the belly, and the legs will not be able to get too close. If you wish to open your knees away from each other, your feet away from each other, you might find that, oh yeah, there's a little bit more room, and the knees will get closer to the belly. You can place your hands on your knees, on your shins, behind your thighs, whatever feels comfortable, and then rock yourself a bit from side to side, side to side. So you are rocking yourself from side to side, side to side. And from here, we'll place hands on our knees. We'll just breathe in. The knees move away. The arms will straighten. We'll breathe out, and the knees will get close to our chest and rib cage. The arms will bend. Inhale, arms straighten, knees away. Exhale, arms bend, knees get close to chest and belly. After the body gets accustomed to this movement and sows the breath to movement, you might like to come into circles as if you are rowing a boat, a little dinghy maybe. As we inhale, the knees move away, the knees open up. As we exhale, the knees get close to chest and rib cage, get close to one another. Inhale, knees move away, open up, exhale, get close to chest and belly. And this idea of making two circles over and over again. And you might find your lower back it arches and straightens. The lower back arches and straightens. We'll relax our facial muscles. There is a relationship between our hip joints and our jaw joints. Tight jaw joints, tight hips. Tight hips, tight jaws. So softening our jaw joints, the masseter muscles or chewing muscles will help the lower back soften as well. There's not so much pull in the back body. We've been circling one direction, we'll circle the other direction. And then we can slowly release our legs. Place the feet back down onto the floor. Soften the inner thighs, soften the outer thighs. Relax the hip joints. Rock your knees from side to side, side to side. Notice how the shoulder blades want to rock from side to side as well. You might like to open your arms a little bit wider into T shape. As you rock your knees to the right side, looking to the left, you might find that your left shoulder blade lifts off the floor a little bit. As you rock the knees to the left, the right hip lifts off, the right shoulder blade lifts off the floor. You can look to the right. That might feel ever so delicious. A little bigger movements for the lower back, for our hips, for the upper body, for the neck. And the next time you roll the knees or drop the knees to the right side, see if you can lift your left arm up into the sky above and roll onto your right side. From right side, we're going to roll onto our belly. Take your time as you gently roll onto your belly. Once you arrive onto your belly, gently, elbows away, palms on top of each other, and start rocking your hips from side to side. You might like to have your toe pads on the floor or maybe your toenails on the floor. As you rock from side to side, you might witness that you are massaging the tops of your feet, your knee joints, your thighs, your hips, your belly, your digestive organs, the diaphragm, chest, rib cage, your pecs or chest muscles. It might feel nice to bend at the knees and rock our feet from side to side, side to side. And then to massage the digestive system, we'll make circles with our legs. So both legs going the same direction. Both legs going the same direction as we make circles one direction. And then we'll make circles the other direction. And we can slowly, slowly come back to center and we'll relax the legs on the floor. Just like a few minutes ago when we were doing our belly breathing, we'll do a few belly breaths here. We'll find our breath in the chest, in our rib cage. We'll notice movement in our body, little ripples happening in the body. We'll send breath further down into our lungs. We'll notice the diaphragm pop open, inflate, and then go back and hide under the lower ribs. We'll notice breath in the belly, big belly, small belly. And if you witness there's not much movement in the belly at this moment, there's not much space for the belly to grow wide, the floor won't allow that. And in this case, the belly is going to push against our lower back, our lumbar spine. So relaxing our glutes, our piriformis muscles, our bum cheeks. Then you might find, oh yeah, you're getting a nice lower back massage just through your breath. So this might feel just wonderful to stay here for a few more breaths. If you've had enough lying down on your belly, you're more than welcome to place your palms on either side of your chest and rib cage. Push earth away ever so gently. Come back to all fours. A few cat-cows or any sort of intelligent organic movements that the body needs and is craving without pain or pushing yourself to go into pain. And then you might like to dive deep into child's pose by rounding your spine and dropping your hips close to your heels, relaxing your toes, your feet, the tops of your feet, elongating the front of your shins. Nice opening for the front of the knees, opening for the back of the hips. Again, those glutes and piriformis gets a bit of a stretch. Your lower back gets a nice big opening. You can place your hands under your forehead and breathe into your back body. Most of the mass of our lungs sits behind the heart. So as you breathe in and out, you can open up the back body to a new breath, new prana, new chi, new ki, new life force. So this is just a half an hour massaging and stretching for the body, kind of bringing breath awareness to our muscles and our organs. The key is breathing. The key is bringing movement and breath together, kind of to sync them together, to sew them together. And each time you forget to breathe, hopefully my cues will remind you to breathe nice and big. And we have breath in our chest, around the rib cage, and we have breath in the belly, so make sure to send your breath all the way down into your belly so the back muscles can loosen up like a braid. They kind of let go of it. I hope this has helped, and have a wonderful day. Bye everyone. Namaste.